Recently, I have learned a lot about bones. It all started when my brother attempted a new skateboarding trick, and I ended up taking him to the doctor's office. No worries though, his arm will heal up quickly because his body will create new bone cells that will attach the two ends of his bone back together. That was just one of the many interesting things I learned about human bones while watching my brother's arm being set. What are the main functions of the skeletal system? My brother's unexpected trip to the doctor made me realize just how amazing our bodies are. Our bodies are designed to have structures inside and out that help us to grow and survive. Our bones are just one part of our incredible skeletal system. Some animals, like lobsters and spiders, have their skeletons on the outside of their bodies. These are called exoskeletons. Humans, however, have endoskeletons, or skeletons on the inside of their bodies. The human body is made up of systems. Each system has its own function or job, but it takes all of the systems working together to keep us happy and healthy. My brother's doctor explains that his wrist is one small part of a hard-working skeletal system. Protection is its #1 job. Our bones and the skeleton that they create protect all of the important organs in our bodies. Take our skulls, for example. These bones protect my brain. The bones of my rib cage protect my heart and lungs. But our skeletal system doesn't just protect, it is also part factory. That's because the second function of the skeletal system is to make blood cells. These blood cells are made in the inner portion of the bone, called bone marrow. But our hard-working skeletal system isn't done yet. Our skeletal system also helps provide movement and support for our bodies. When we move, like my brother, when he was riding his skateboard, his body's skeletal system worked together with his muscular system to help his bones move. Our skeletal system also acts as a warehouse by storing minerals like calcium and phosphorus. These are then released into the body when they are needed, which would be now for my brother, because calcium will help his broken bone heal faster. Let's review what we have learned about all of the jobs our skeletal system has. Question 1. What do we call a skeleton that is housed on the inside of a body? A. Exoskeleton. B. Hydroskeleton. C. Endoskeleton. D. None of the above. The correct answer is C. An endoskeleton is inside the body. Here's question 2. What is produced in bone marrow? A. Calcium. B. Blood cells. C. Sodium. D. Adrenaline. If you answered B, you know that bone marrow produces blood cells. Question 3. The skeletal system stores which mineral in the body? A. Phosphorus. B. Calcium. C. A and B. D. None of the above. The correct answer is C. Both phosphorus and calcium are stored in the skeletal system. What are the components of the skeletal system? When we talk about our skeletal system, it is important to remember that it is an entire system working together to protect us and help us move. Bones are a major part of that system. When we are born, we have about 300 bones in our skeletal systems. By the time we reach adulthood, some of those bones have fused or joined together, so we end up with 206 bones. From the time we are born until we are in our mid-20s, our bones are in a constant state of growth. They are living things. But what are they made of? Well, 70% of our bones is made up of calcium. That's why eating calcium-rich food is so important for keeping our bodies strong and allowing our bones to heal if they are broken. Almost every bone in our bodies is made of the same materials. The outer surface is called the cortical or compact bone. This part is smooth and very hard. This is the part of the bone that you see when you look at a skeleton. Inside the cortical bone are spongy layers of bone material called the cancellous bone. These layers aren't as hard as compact bone, but are still very strong. Because these layers are lighter, they help our bones stay light and make them a little bit bendable. The cancellous bone protects the innermost part of the bone, called bone marrow. Bone marrow is a thick, jelly-like substance. There are two types of bone marrow, yellow and red. The yellow bone marrow produces fat and tissue called bone cartilage, while the red bone marrow produces red and white blood cells. Our skeletal systems also rely on the joints in our bodies to keep us moving. Joints are found where bones come together and connect. Think about your shoulder and your hip joints. They are examples of ball and socket joints and are designed to give us the range of motion we need to move our arms and legs. Joints are made of a smooth material called cartilage. Cartilage is a smooth connective tissue found in many parts of the body, including in the joints between bones. It is softer and more flexible than bone and works together with fluid to keep our bones from rubbing together. Our skeletal systems have one last component, ligaments. Ligaments are made from tough fibers that work with joints to connect bones together. Ligaments also help keep our bones from moving out of place. Just take a look at your hands to see ligaments in action. It is ligaments that are holding together all 27 bones of your hand. Amazing! Now we know that our skeletal systems are not just made of bones. Let's review what we just learned. Question 1. How many bones does the adult body have? A. 100. B. 206. C. 350. D. 555. The correct answer is B. An adult has 206 bones. Here's question 2. What does yellow bone marrow produce? A. Calcium. B. Fat. C. Bone cartilage. D. B and C. The correct answer is D. Yellow bone marrow produces fat and bone cartilage. Question 3. What do we call the firm connective tissue found between bones? A. Bone marrow. B. Collagen. C. Cartilage. D. None of the above. If you answered C, you know that cartilage is the firm connective tissue found between bones. What are the types of bones in the skeletal system? Before my brother's skateboarding accident, I didn't know very much about the bones in my body. But now I know that our skeletal systems are made up of two types of bones, axial and appendicular. My axial bones have two important jobs. They keep me upright and protect my body's organs and nervous system. The human body has 80 axial bones as part of its skeletal system. These include our vertebral column or spine, our ribcage, and our skull. The axial skeleton provides support and protection for the brain, spinal cord, and other organs in the body. It also provides a surface for the attachment of muscles and stabilizes other areas of the skeleton. The other 126 bones of the skeletal system are appendicular bones. Although some of these bones protect organs, their major function is locomotion. That's right, they keep us moving. Our legs, feet, shoulders, and arms are all examples of appendicular bones. The bones in our bodies come in all shapes and sizes. The longest bone in our bodies is the thigh bone, called the femur. The smallest bones are the 3 tiny bones in our middle ear, called ossicles. Let's review what we just learned. Question 1. How many appendicular bones are in the human skeletal system? A. 50, B. 75, C. 126, D. 206. The correct answer is C. There are 126 appendicular bones. Question 2. What is the main function of axial bones? A. To keep us upright. B. To protect vital organs. C. To help blood flow. D. A and B. If you answered D, you know that axial bones protect vital organs and help us to stay upright. Here's question 3. Which is the longest bone in the human body? A. Femur. B. Ribs. C. Foot. D. Sternum. The correct answer is A. The femur is the longest bone in the human body. What are muscles and how do they work? We already learned that one of the major functions of the human skeletal system is to help us with movement. But bones can't move by themselves. They need the help of another of our body's systems, the muscular system. Our muscles are not directly attached to our bones. Instead, they are held onto the bones by connective tissue called tendons. Tendons are similar to the cartilage that connects bones to each other. However, where cartilage keeps the bones steady or stable, tendons are meant to help the bones move. Our muscles are bundles of soft tissue and fibers that work by expanding and contracting. This produces force and motion. When a muscle fiber gets a signal from a nerve, chemicals in the body release energy to contract or relax the muscle. When muscles contract, tendons work to pull the nearby bones closer together. Our muscles don't like to go it alone. They always work in pairs. One part of the pair is called the flexor, while the other part is called the extensor. The flexor and the extensor work together to make the muscle and the bone move. Let's take a look at my bicep. That's the muscle in the front of my upper arm. When it contracts, my tricep, the muscle at the back of my upper arm, relaxes. This allows my arm to bend. Then, when I want to straighten my arm, the tricep will contract while the bicep relaxes. Our muscles are responsible for helping us maintain our good posture too, by keeping our spine in line and upright. They are also responsible for helping our bodies with physical movement, like sitting, smiling, running, and skateboarding. Maybe my brother's extensor and flexor didn't coordinate so well on his last skateboard trick. Our muscles also help our internal organs do their jobs. For example, our cardiac muscles help our hearts keep pumping and circulating blood throughout our bodies. Let's review what we have just learned about how our muscles work with the bones of our skeletal system. Question 1. What do we call the connective tissue that connects muscles to bones? A. Plasma. B. Tendons. C. Joints. D. Nerves. The correct answer is B. Tendons are the connective tissue that connects muscle to bones. Here's question 2. How do muscles help our bodies? A. They help us remain upright. B. They help with movement. C. They help organs do their jobs. D. All of the above. If you answered D, you know that muscles do all of those things. Question 3. How many muscles need to work together to produce movement? A. 2. B. 3. C. 5. D. 9. The correct answer is A. Muscles work in pairs. What are the different types of muscles and their functions? I was surprised to learn that there are 600 muscles in my body. Not all of our muscles are exactly the same. In fact, we have 3 different types of muscles. The first type is skeletal muscles. These are the muscles that cover the bones of our skeleton and help us move around. Skeletal muscles are also known as voluntary muscles because we can control them directly with signals from our brains. Exercise is important to our skeletal muscles because it allows them to grow bigger and stronger. Our bodies also have smooth muscles. These special muscles don't connect to bones, but instead are found in the hollow organs of our bodies and help these organs do their work. For example, smooth muscles are found in the stomach and intestines. They help our bodies process food and move it through the digestive system. Smooth muscles are considered involuntary muscles because we don't have any control over them. They function automatically. The third kind of muscles in our bodies are cardiac muscles. These important muscles are the involuntary muscles that pump our heart and circulate blood through the body. So, it is important to remember that our bodies have internal and external structures that help us live and grow. Our skeletal and muscular systems each have their own work to do, but interact together to keep us moving. And my brother skateboarding. Well, once his wrist heals. Although he was upset about his broken wrist, the doctor reminded him to look on the bright side. It takes only 17 facial muscles to smile, but it takes 43 to frown. Let's review what we just learned. Here's question 1. How many muscles are in the human body? A, 25, B, 63, C, 212, D, 600. If you answered D, you know that there are 600 muscles in the human body. Question 2. Which type of muscle helps us move around? A, cardiac, B, smooth, C, skeletal, D, none of the above. The correct answer is C. Skeletal muscles help us move. Question 3. What type of muscle is found in the stomach and intestines? A, cardiac, B, smooth, C, skeletal, D, none of the above. If you answered B, you know that smooth muscles are found in the stomach and intestines. Thinking question. Will machines ever be built that can move and react like a human? Should they be built? Explain your thinking.